Ta-da!
Good morning.
Hello! Welcome to the Sun Dragon Sideshow.
The Adventures of Liz and Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca. I'm the owner of Sun Dragon Art and Fiber. An overcast, but probably just going to be a spring day, Brevard, North Carolina.
I'm Liz. I'm the minion there. It's going to be like almost 80.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Like even I
That's
dressed
like
in
summer
clothes.
Well, I have a sleeveless dress on under this, and this is my go-to cover up right now. I realized this morning, this yarn's been discontinued, and I feel like Carol's bought us out of almost all of it.
Yeah, we have a little.
We have a little bit left. So I need to make some more ranunculi.
You do.
Out of yarn. What yarn do we want to be discontinued next?
You know, I was looking at the new new colors of the, not Ito, but the
Zoe.
No. The Noro
The Compa Ito.
Compa Ito. It would make a really pretty ranunculate, and you might only need one.
Okay, I'm already making something out of the Compa
Well,
Ito.
I know that. But also, the new Zoe is, super awesome, too.
And we have the multicolor that I've already pulled. Maybe that's what I'm going to have to make out of that. Summer tops, with the big open armholes on the sides. That, although I'm thinking, rabbit hole thinking that my brain was going through recently. By the way, did we mention we just came back from our 4-day weekend? And we're both rested and not rested, but I was thinking I would have to make another that has the big open crazy holes. And I also would like one that has little sleeves. Because I'm not a fan of my underarms because I have a skin condition that leaves scars. And when it's a big open hole like this, you can the whole point of having a cover up to cover a sleeveless dress is to not see that part. So that's why I'm thinking about. Well,
if you did just a few inches, you could do just past
that would
length.
Pull in the sleeves a little bit. Another I'm trying to think about the ways that we're gonna do. No show notes, people.
Ever.
Ever. This relates to, why don't we start with our Dear Becky and Lizzie stuff, because this relates, because someone emailed me, and I'm going to try to write you back. Someone emailed me asking a question, because they were about to start their next ranunculus, or they're going to start a ranunculus out of maybe the Vivo, which I have, which is what I'm wearing right now. And they were wondering what needle I used, and how much I used. I can't fully remember the email right now. And my way of checking my email is filming right now. But all of my ranunculi I have done on a size 10 needle. That doesn't mean I'm hitting gauge, because they were I think they were asking which size should I make, and I will write this person back. But I do them all on a size 10 needle. We call it the magic sweater because you don't have to gauge, but that's because it's written to be on any, from a lace weight to a worsted weight on a size 10 needle, and be oversized, which is why I don't worry about my gauge. It doesn't mean I get gauge. It doesn't mean you magically get gauge with a size 10 needle, regardless of weight. It means if you're picking an oversized size, which you're supposed to for this, because I've had people say, oh, you've lost weight because I've got this big flowy thing on, even though it's big and flowy. The skirt under it and the combo makes it look
smaller.
I am smaller underneath, especially with the flowiness, because there's such drape, because it's a light DK yarn with a size 10 needle. That's why I think I sometimes get the compliments, because let me tell you, I've gained weight. So my answer to what needle did you use? I'm always using a size 10. But I'm not trying to get gauge. I'm picking an oversized, I don't even remember what size I picked for this. And regardless, to tell someone else, hey, I picked this size, because I'm not trying for gauge, I can't guarantee it's the size it came out. I just know it's going to be loose and flowy because that is the style.
I use either a 10.5 or an 11 needle for my ranunculi and pick a huge size anyway, so they come out even bigger.
Right. So
It's just personal preference. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I can answer that question, but it's not going to be a precise answer because it's you really need to pick the size that you would like to make, and it depends on how oversized you want it to be. But the more oversized you pick it, that you go for, in some ways, the more drape and the more wiggle room you have to make sure it fits.
And like
because it's supposed to be oversized.
When you're looking at sizes too, get a tape measure and be like, okay, I'm this big around, and hold it around you, and then add in however much.
We do that a lot, yeah.
You can almost hula hoop the tape measure to go, okay, how much?
I like this ease,
yeah,
or I
how
don't.
much ease do I have?
Caveat on that, though, is if you're trying to figure out what size ranunculus to make, then you're going to have to try to get gauge, which means you may have to change your needle size.
Yeah.
So I just pick one that I know is going to be roomy, and I pick a thin enough yarn. I've done one with like a worsted weight, almost a bulky weight yarn, and that one still has room and ease and drape to it, but
it looks more like a fitted sweater.
It doesn't look as drapey as this, So I like going with thinner yarns for it now because it's gonna have this lacy drapey look. So anyway, and what I love about this sweater, it not only has it boosted my other channel like crazy, which is awesome. It's just comfy, and it looks like I can recognize a ranunculus at 10 paces. Well, or maybe close up if,
We've had quite a few people come in wearing a ranunculus.
Yeah, and I would say I can recognize it, and the flip side is they all look different.
Yes.
I can still recognize the pattern, but no two really look alike. Because whether it's gauge or
yarn.
It's more the yarn. Yeah, I was getting there. But it's okay because I talk too much, so you need to butt in or else you would never say anything. Okay. So that wasn't an official Dear Becky and Lizzie question, but we have one. So, and then we can talk about crawl stuff and other stuff. Yeah.
Question for Dear Becky and Lizzie. Hi y'all. I purchased the pattern for the pressed flowers pullover, but I am not enamored of the higher neckline. Any suggestions on how to make the neckline lower? Thanks.
Okay, so lots of layers, lots to unpack in this, because we usually have people who come into the shop and say, I don't like the big necklines. Mm-hmm. And not that they're lower. Like that's what is meant by lower is that like that it dips down further here, which is how you wear it, kind of. But a lot of people... Or
it's wider across your shoulders.
Yeah, and Jennifer Steingass, this is a total, like, squirreling aside. Jennifer Steingass's sweaters, which I absolutely love, most people say, I don't like how open the neckline is, and how do I fix that? And it's like... So to take something that is tighter and want it looser... Full disclaimer, I am not an expert at changing patterns. So I can offer some theoretical advice here, potentially, because there's two things that make this hard to give concrete advice on. One is that I don't tend to change my patterns. That is a Carol question, and she's not part of the podcast at the moment. If you've watched long enough, you know that we jokingly use Carol's name as a verb in the shop. Carolizing is when you change a pattern because that's what she loves to do. She loves to say, I like this pattern, but I want blah, 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 and she has fun with that. And it's mostly successful.
I don't think she changes, like, for her normal sweater, she uses Ann Budd. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't change necessarily the collar. I don't think she does a lot with that. Because she likes how the collar fits on her.
So even she may not have an answer for this, but she might also have theoretical ideas. The second reason that this is a tough question to answer is I have never looked at that pattern before. I do not know how the neckline is constructed. The pullover was released like in the middle or at the end of our Pressed Flowers make along. So it was like, yay, look, there's another option. And it's cute. But I've maxed out on how many pressed flowers things I can do. I still haven't finished the cardigan. And the cardigan was a bottom up sweater. And I think the pullover is a top down. It's also in the round, which means a lot more purling. I do not know if the pressed flowers pullover starts, like, there's two ways that top down sweaters tend to start. One is that they actually start, I would guess this is not how the pressed flowers works because of the patterning, but they start with a ring at the top, and then they do short rows in the back or in the front. You know, they do some kind of short row to tilt it so that this flat, so that a flat ring. Some things, some patterns don't at all, and then you just have a flat high collar, and that could be the case with pressed flowers as well. One way to tilt it is short rows, putting more material in the back, and then your front drops down, so it feels more like a t-shirt fit when you wear it. And if that's the case, then putting in more short rows should, in theory, tilt the front down further, because you have more material in the back, it'll shift it. The other way that necklines are made more like a t-shirt, where you've got the higher back and the lower front, is when they start with only a certain number of stitches across the back, and this is the case with raglan, so it might be the case with pressed flowers, is you start with the back and maybe the shoulders, and you're adding in, as you're expanding for the sleeves, you're also expanding by increasing down here. That's how Il Grande Favorito goes, right? And when you have enough stitches down here, then you cast on across the front, and then you're in a circle. Woohoo! And so in theory, as you are increasing for the shoulders on your your 4 raglan seams, I'm like 2 in the front, 2 in the back, 4. Then you're also increasing in the front. You can either do more increases in the front, which will dip it down, but you have to be keeping the pattern going in a way that works and have enough knowledge of the pattern that you're comfortable doing that. Like, deviating from the pattern means tackling a lot of other things that we may not be able to walk you through. So one more, hang on. I mean, you could even make it a V-neck there.
Spin off.
And those are my two. Like, if her pattern didn't have anything for the front, then you would have to figure out how to do that. Like, beg, borrowing, and stealing from, say, Il Grande Favorito and stuff. But then you have to keep the pattern in check. What are you going to say?
I'm wondering if this is not a higher or lower, but a looser or tighter. Like,
and that is another we need more information type of question. Yes.
Like, where certain cast-ons, certain collars can be a tighter where it comes up higher, and certain ones are looser. Mm-hmm. Like, on my Ranunculus, I start post increases after the collar. Like, I go ahead and cast on 90 instead of the 60. You cast on
more stitches for the collar.
But I skip the increases because I've already cast on that number of stitches.
Yeah.
A rolled collar tends to be stretch out and become a looser collar than, like, if the collar is cast on and then you go pick up stitches later, it becomes a tighter collar, which could be higher up too.
So, okay, what Liz is talking about, cast on and pick up stitches later, is if there's a ribbed collar, some kind of collar on it, it's starting after the collar and going back later and picking up stitches to add in the collar. Having a seam, having more material there keeps it tighter.
Yes.
I'm sorry if you had more to say. I just wanted to clarify.
Yeah. But no, if it was a go and pick up your collar later, kind of thing, I would either do a rolled collar, which is going to loosen up over time,
which is just knitting a few rows, like casting on, knitting a few rows, and going into the pattern,
ignore
and call that your call that your collar.
Like some of your Jennifer Steingast ones have more of a rolled collar where it'll loosen up over time.
It looks like an I-cord collar, but it's not.
Yeah. That could give you a more wider, not a tighter, So
And I haven't looked at her pattern to see if it's a picked up later, and because there's like staggering to stitches and stuff. That's how you cover up any weirdness with your neck construction. I'm looking for different words than collar, because the collar's added in later because the shaping is done in a way where you're adding stitches here. That is hard to, like, that means you have to go back and pick up stitches for your collar later. And you could try a different type of collar on there.
I was just thinking, and I remember Carol adding stitches. Like, she's like, I want a smaller back and a bigger front, and trying to manipulate the stitches on just a plain raglan. And it requires so much math that...
And when there's a pattern involved, then you have to do the math for that too. If you're taking out stitches anywhere or adding in stitches anywhere, then you have to figure out how to make the pattern still fit. Yeah. So, not us. We can give you theoretical like ideas, but then it goes way beyond. That's why I like to do patterns as written, because I also do patterns as written, because then I can tell someone, then someone won't come back at me saying, why did mine turn out different than yours? If they bought it because they saw it in the shop and really liked it. Then I don't have to say, because I changed the pattern. I can say, well, let's talk about your gauge, or let's talk about, did you make any modifications? Because I pretty much stuck to the pattern. So
I try and stick to the pattern except for needle sizes. Just because, like, sometimes I'll go and pick up a collar because I know that the collar is going to be loose and I want to keep it where it is. But I don't tend to change much.
So, anyway, that's our best guess. Okay. I had these here because we put these online. These are the... I tried to put all the dragon merch online for y'all. We had a sale while we were gone, while we were home. And now things are just online. Like, I put these up a couple days ago. Dragon Treasure is stuff we bundled from the shop that's like shop related, or has been here for a while, or is just fun and cute. And it's $15 worth of stuff. And there's no guarantee what you're going to get. You could get shop stickers and mini skeins. You could get tape measures or stitch marker, like accessory tins with nothing in them, just the tin, and you get to put stuff in it. But these are available for purchase online if you would like to take your chances. It's like a mini mystery-ish thing. So for $15. We put the bags. We have a limited number of bags left. We did have some sales over the weekend, so we're going to pull that stuff first and see how many things we have left. Our stickers and pins for this year for the Dragon Treasure are now available online. So just so you know, limited supplies. Trunk shows won't go up online because they were on loan to us. If you're interested in anything, contact us, because we still have stuff left because we were gone and haven't gotten it back to their respective owners yet. We're going to hang on to Spunky Sheep for a little while longer. Fiber Fairy, we're still figuring out if we're able to keep any of it, or if it all has to go back because cash flow. But even though we had the most awesome yarn girl ever, we had a lot of bills. So, and as happens, you know. So we might keep some kits, we might not, we'll see. What did you do with your 4-day weekend, Liz?
Not much. No, I have several things to show, some of which I did pre-crawl, so or during the crawl. So anyway,
That's okay.
First, my crawl hair, which is still wet, and so.
But it's pretty. It's really
my
pretty.
dragon hair.
It goes with your dress.
And then, Friday into Saturday, I finished my dragon dress, which
Those are
is all dragon eggs.
It's dragon eggs with some dragons in them. Oh, it's so pretty.
Yeah.
So
I did that. And then pre-crawl, and I finished some during the crawl. I got one square for all my colors. So I have 6 sets now of all of my
This is all the
squares.
lights.
That's the light blue,
Okay.
medium blue, a dark blue. They're so yummy.
So it's like the light blue with every other
Yep.
color.
Yep.
Okay.
Light reds with all the colors they're in. So like there'll be doubles and triples of some of the colors, but
It's a very methodical way to go about it.
this one's medium red. And this one's the dark reds. So anyway, still working on that. Don't know what I'm doing.
You still don't know what you're making with
No.
it? Okay.
I'm going to use all my yarn before I know what I'm making. So,
Okay.
Want to know how big I've got. So,
I'm just looking at, yeah.
all the things. And then,
And then,
the Sunday before the yarn crawl, I was Rebecca's read the comments on her class.
she was my assistant for my virtual class.
And-
she always is, and that's awesome.
I was sitting there without a project, and I was without like any idea of what I wanted to do or what I was doing. And so I cast on project number 196. It's brioche. This is side B with the green showing.
And what is the green?
The green is the Zoe stripes. It's kind of an ombre green.
Oh, that's, yeah.
And I'm getting into the light.
I'm so tempted with ranunculus. Do I make it out of the stripy color or like the speckled or the ombre, which showed off so
And
well?
this is side A that I'm using the Compa Ito in the pinks.
Nice.
And I already got some color changes, and I was like, oh, I like that. So it's going to be like a really long wrap, like a rectangular wrap. That's it. It's going to be like 2 feet wide. So it'll be a really nice, just throw over my shoulders, go in the grocery store. I'm making it on a size 11 needle. And when we were walking around the mall on Tuesday, I was doing my knitting. And then I sat down and realized there was about that many stitches that were wrong. But because I had attended all of Rebecca's wonderful brioche classes, I was like, ooh, let me just drop this down and change it and wait, what do it? Oh, yeah. And then build it right back up. And then I dropped a stitch and went, oh, no. And it's on the purl side and crap, I can't remember how to fix the purl side. Wait, Rebecca says, if you want to build it all back up, turn it to the knit side because
Everything's
it's
easier
easier
to fix on the knit side.
And it was. Normally with just plain garter or whatever, like not brioche, I'll build it from the purl side because I don't care. It's like whatever. I can play around with it.
You
But
can
with
fudge
the
it.
brioche, I was like, knit side. Yes. Okay. So anyway.
Yay!
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that's my, yeah.
So before I show off what very little I did, I mean, it was concentrated and stuff. I spent a lot of time not crafting over the 4 days, so I don't have a lot to show. And it felt weird, but okay. I was also playing on my phone a lot. But that's the thing.
Look, I have 5. I can merge the 5 together.
Oh, jeez. I might have had dreams that involved merged dragons and hearts and things. But when it's not fun, I can put it down. So I wait, I'm trying to remember what I was just about to say. You talked about merging 5 and I just got distracted and someone's looking at our stuff like he can buy our couches and he can't. Okay. So oh, that's what I was going to tell you is my bee saga.
Oh, yeah.
So I killed 3 yellow jackets in my house within a 24-hour period, and I'm very proud of myself. Because I hate bees and hornets, and I had hornets issues last year, and oh my gosh. So Liz got me a racket. So the first time I saw a bee, that I thought it was another stink bug, and I'm like, that's not a stink bug. Oh gosh, what are we gonna do? and it was near where I was watching TV. And that time, it actually like tried to chase me around the house a little bit, and I was like, "Oh crap!" Because I figured my racket that Liz had gotten me that I'd only charged last year was dead. So I was like,
Okay, hold on. No, it is not like a tennis racket. It's an electric fly swatter that looks like a tennis racket. It's got all the little mesh grid and
it looks like a racquetball racket.
whatever. Anyway,
She's particular with me sometimes. It's not as long as if it was as long as a tennis racket and as big as one, I would be a little less
sporty?
scared. It's like this big.
Yeah. And it's got
total.
electric wire mesh that you charge, and you can zap stuff with it.
So B flying around in the middle of the house at that point. He was on the window, or like he was on the back door, which is a big window, trying to get out. And then he was flying around the house, and I was like, I was trying to like kind of be like with my phone, go away. And then I grabbed my racket and switched on and pressed the activate button. There's a lot of safety so you don't accidentally electrocute yourself or someone else, or just zap something or set something on fire, you got to turn it on and press a button. And I turned it on and pressed the button, and the red light lit up. I was like, oh, there's still juice in this thing. And then, of course, the bee, when it was in its quiet mode, because it's flown around so much, it was tired. So I couldn't find it. So later that night, I heard it again. And it was on the window door, but near the edge. So I was like holding the thing down, and I'm like, I can do this because it's not that close to me anymore. But it was still kind of like, it still took a lot of courage to be like, bam! And there was a little like, psst, but I hadn't really hit it because it was like, there wasn't a flat surface to squish it against. So I had to, and it was still crawling, and I'm like, I apologize. To all of them, I apologized first before I did it. I'm like, I am sorry I have to do this. And then, boom! And I had to hit it a few times. Finally, it got stuck on the racket. Because the charge and everything. And that's when I took it over to just outside the kitchen and whacked it on the ground where it was flat. And that's where it stayed overnight because it came off the racket, and I put a paper towel over it because I had to make sure it was dead. So I left it there.
Here lies a yellow jacket in its shroud.
Yeah, and it was all curled up, like, which meant it was probably dead. But I still was like, I'm just gonna. And the next day, it was still there, thankfully, which meant it was dead. Because like, what if I took it? What if I grabbed it in the paper towel and then it came back to life and was mad at me?
Okay,
this is where my brain goes.
What you do is you lay its shroud on it, and then you get your shoe and you smush it.
No, okay, but that's if it was still alive. But then I would have to like scrape it off the ground. This is like I could actually get it without goop, and anyway. So I was like, okay, and I thought maybe it came in through a hole in the screen in my bedroom. So I closed that window down. I don't know how they're getting in. There's lots of potentially possible. It's not like my house is hermetically sealed. There's lots of ways it could be getting in. But I was like, hopefully that's it, but I'll leave the racket nearby. And then the next day, I heard rustling behind the chair that is near the window. There's like a garbage bag down there from moving stuff. Like that's just been sitting there for a very long time. And I was like, is there a squirrel outside or is there a mouse inside? And then I heard it hitting the window, and I'm like, there's another one. And so it had to go through the same process, like of trying to get it on the window, and when it stuck to the racket after a few hits, then really whacking it on the floor. And that one stayed there for a day too. And then I went to go do, like, not long after taking care of the second one, I went to go do laundry, and I go around the corner to the front door, and there's another yellow jacket. Like all of these yellow jackets are like a good inch and a half long. So they're not hornet size, but they're not small either. And then there's one, he's just crawling on the floor. Like he's in I'm tired mode. Who knows where he was before. And I was like, oh no, because I don't have my racket, which apparently still has juice in it. I didn't charge it till after the third one. But and I had a thing full of laundry, so I had to like go around the corner, put that down, find the racket, go back, and hope it was still there, and it was. And I heartily apologized to this one because I felt like he didn't even have a chance. But he got left by the front hallway.
You need to start making Sharpie hash marks on your racket.
Yeah, right?
So, not so that you can keep track of the bees, but you can keep track of how many times you were brave enough.
I was
to
brave
kill
enough because this is a lot for me. So, and that one I left in the front hallway, and I didn't put a paper towel over it. And there was a time I came back and it wasn't there anymore, and I kind of freaked a little, and then realized that the cat had probably gone like this with it. It was over by the front door, but it was still looking pretty dead. So, all but the one by the front door have been disposed of now. But 3. Haven't seen any since, but I have since found a charger that works on the racket because my house is a mess, and charged it fully, so I'm ready. And at this point, the cat like goes and hides. Like the front hallway smelled like a little like
Burnt
wood
bug.
fire. Like, and the cat hides and it doesn't like the racket, but the racket doesn't go anywhere near the cat. So, anyway, that was part of my weekend. My 4-day weekend. And then the fun part for me was I got some yarn at Pearls. So I'm about to show you knitting that I've done with yarn that we do not have at the shop. And please contact Pearls Yarn Emporium over in Asheville if you would like happy socks like mine. Because I like 2 days I didn't do anything. And then I jumped into working on my happy socks that I had a little bit more than this done on. It's yarn they dye over at Pearls, and it's called it's Science. The whole series is called Science, and this one's called Chemistry. And I just love the colors in the twist. It looked nothing like this in the twist, but look, I made a whole sock. These are my happy socks. I made one. And I'm starting to, I even got the Kitchener done. I'm starting my second one. This is my side project at home, but this is what I spent most of my time on. My little Prim ergonomic carbon zeros are all slightly bent because of how I hold them in my hands, but they're still great for, they still work, and I still love them. When they're that small, they're made from synthetic materials, even with some carbon in them, they're gonna bend.
Bent, but not broken.
But not broken, yes. And so I started my second one. The other thing I spent a lot of time on, or not, the only thing I did that was shop related is I started, because this is the second Noro yarn we got. This one's not online yet. It's called Natsumeki. It's the second cotton blend, cotton and silk and polyamide, but this one is 60% cotton, 25% silk, 15% polyamide. And it's a little thinner because of the higher cotton content, I think. I mean, I don't know why. But there's 480 meters?
400, yeah, it's over 500 yards. I bet after you finish your Sophie scarf, you might have enough of that to make a sleeveless ranunculi.
I don't know. That would be interesting to try. Because I'm already on the decreases of this Sophie scarf. Like, Sophie scarf is this little itty-bitty fun wrap around your neck. That's why I thought it would be cool to make it out of a cotton. Because it's just, a little tie around. And so if you get just a little chilly, we'll see when I'm done. This is the larger size of the Sophie scarf ideas. I didn't check gauge. I just dove in with the force that it said to use. And I think I'm going to get through, because here's where the color repeat starts again from the yellow that I started this with. So you get to see all the colors, although if you make something a lot bigger than this at its widest is 33 stitches. The colors will change faster.
Yep.
So, but I think I've done a couple decreases now. So right around here somewhere is where it'll just be this long again, over on the other side. I think I'll get through one color repeat, maybe a little more, but that's fun. It's a mindless knit for the most part that not too complicated. Might be a good first project. There's just some slipping at the end to make the I-cord edging. There's some increasing and some decreasing. and it's only every so many rows, without giving away the whole pattern, right? But if I bet I could make one of these in like a day, if that's all I had to do. But that's not all I have to do. So it's the only thing I really worked on to try to make progress on, because I was supposed to be taking a break. But this is the Natsumeki. It's got bolder. It's still subtle, because when you have cotton, you can only get colors that are so bold, I find. That's one of the reasons there's so much more vividity, not a real word, to some of the wool blends, is just
The way they take colors.
It can saturate and take colors differently. Let me see if I can reach it. The last time I showed off my other one that I'm working on, which is kind of stuck on other stuff in here. Too many things in this bag, and I haven't straightened them out recently. Okay, that was the sample from my brioche classes. The Compaito, on the other hand, there's a lot more silk in it. It's only 30% cotton. It feels more like a softer cotton, actually, but it's going to be warmer because of the silk. I have put the top pieces together, and yes, they do not match, but everything will start to have more symmetrical color to it. It was kind of fun to see what was going to happen with this. I could have color manipulated, because I'm guessing there's roughly like a color repeat to this. The Wizard's the only one I know that doesn't have a consistent color repeat, but I kind of like that it's going to be a little bit like off kilter.
That's the same color I'm using in this.
You said you were using the pinks.
Yeah, it's the number 5.
This is the number 3.
Or it's the number 3. It's that one.
Okay, it's not the pink one.
Oh, well,
I'm just being clear. When you said pinks, there is one that has a pink base. This one has a creamy base to it. I think all the Compaito has all the same types of color in it, somewhat, with a different base structure to the...
I want to say it's the same one as you're using. I just describe it different.
Yes. If someone went online and looked for the pink one, it's going to come out different.
Yeah.
That's all. There's lots of pinks in a lot of these, but they'll show up in different ways because of the background color of the yarn. Anyway, so this guy still looks kind of like a bathing suit, bikini top, but he won't be. He'll be that up here like that. So at some point I'll get back to all those projects, but I was supposed to be on break, so I didn't furiously knit on anything, but kind of mindlessly knit on my socks, which were really fun. This is at Pearls. So, yeah. Anyway, we gotta go because oh wow, the shop needs to open soon. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna like slowly start picking up the pieces from the crawl. No, it's time to go.
It's time to go.
All right, so I'm making an executive decision that because we have a lot to do right now. The next Sit and Stitch will be next Tuesday. We had told some people at Sit and Stitch maybe we could. My thing's still in night mode, so I can't dismiss that. Sorry, there's a phone call coming in that y'all can't see. It maybe we'd be able to do a Sit and Stitch on Friday. We got too much going on, so next Tuesday will be our next virtual Sit and Stitch. We finally will have one. It'll be from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time, U.S., and you get in with a shop phone number on Zoom.
828-88.
877-3550. Okay, let's try that again for people who went. How many 8s? Here's the shop phone number.
828-877-3550.
It's been a little while. I forgot to put my other wrist ruler in. Okay.
I'm naked.
We're squirreling. We're having issues.
Yeah.
Wish us the best today. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye. Like, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun stuff.
We're almost at 2,000. We're like 100 away. Help us out with that. Yay. Bye.